twin ship, Varian, drifted silently through the edge of known space, its sleek silver hull reflecting the dim light of distant stars. The crew aboard had always followed the rules of their galaxy, never venturing too far into human space, for no one who went there ever returned. Captain Rallan stood on the bridge, staring at the holographic display. The signal had appeared out of nowhere, a faint pulse traveling through the void. Unlike anything they had ever seen before, the Council, back home, had warned them. Human space was dangerous, unpredictable, and full of unknown threats. "Captain," said Lyra, the communications officer, her voice trembling slightly, "the signal is repeating, but its pattern. It is intelligent?" She looked at the others with wide eyes. "It is calling to us." Rallan rubbed his jaw, thinking deeply. "Calling us, or warning us," he murmured. The crew exchanged nervous glances. Some wanted to turn back immediately. Others felt the pull of curiosity, an unexplainable need to know why humans had disappeared. The alien navigator Torvik adjusted the ship's course slightly. "The signal is coming from the Peric sector." Deep inside human space, his claws tapped nervously. "On the console, no ship has survived that far in. We are risking everything." A silence fell over the bridge as the weight of their choice pressed down on them. Finally, Rallan spoke, his voice firm. "We are explorers, not cowards. We follow the call because the unknown is where truth lies. If humans are out there, we will find them." The engines hummed as the Varian prepared to jump into the warp tunnel that led to human space. The stars around them stretched into lines of light, the familiar hum of space shifting into a strange, vibrating resonance. Each crew member felt a mix of fear and excitement, knowing that the moment they entered human space, nothing would ever be the same. Lyra kept her eyes on the signal, watching it pulse, like a heartbeat in the dark. It feels alive," she whispered, her voice almost lost among the mechanical hums of the ship. Torvik shook his head. "It is not alive, but it is smart, far smarter than we imagined." As the ship accelerated, small alarms began to flash on the consoles. Strange energy readings appeared, sensors going haywire. "Captain," shouted the science officer, "Drelo, the signal is reacting to us." His claws hovered over the controls. It knows we are coming." Rallan took a deep breath, feeling the weight of history pressing on him. "Then we will face it as we always face the unknown." Together, the bridge grew tense, the air thick with anticipation. Every eye was on the viewports as the stars blurred around them, the silence broken only by the rising hum of the warp engines. Suddenly, the signal intensified, sending waves of strange light through the ship. The crew felt it in their bodies, a vibrating energy that seemed to whisper secrets, or maybe warnings. No one spoke, too afraid to break the spell, and yet too curious to look away. Then, with a sudden jolt, the Varian entered human space, a region of darkness and mystery, where no alien had ever survived. The stars seemed sharper, the shadows deeper, and the pulse of the signal louder. The bridge was silent except for the hiss of the engines and the unspoken question, what had humans left behind, and why did none return? Rallan's voice finally broke the silence. Calm but determined. "Prepare yourselves, everyone. We are no longer observers. We are hunters of truth, and whatever waits here, it will know we are coming." The crew exchanged nervous glances, hearts pounding, as the Varian sailed further into the unknown, carrying its crew toward a fate they could not yet imagine. The silent signal continued to pulse, a heartbeat in the dark, guiding them deeper into human space. The Varian moved deeper into human space, its hull creaking under the strain of constant warp shifts. The crew had been silent for hours, each lost in their thoughts, fear and curiosity tangled. In their minds, no one had spoken since the moment they entered the dark, uncharted region. Lyra stared at the sensors, her eyes wide. "Captain, there is something ahead," she whispered. Her claw hovered over the console. Trembling slightly, the readings showed a massive structure, abandoned yet intact, floating silently among the stars. "It looks like a colony," she added. Rallan stepped closer to the display, frowning. "Abandoned, or hidden," he murmured. The humans had left nothing behind in known space, no traces, no warnings, yet here was a place clearly touched by them. Something about it made the hairs on the crew's arms rise. Torvik adjusted the scanners. "It is advanced, far beyond what we expected." His voice was full of awe. Energy flows in ways our ships cannot replicate. Systems still active, but no life detected. The crew moved cautiously toward the colony, every step feeling like a test, every shadow making them pause. The air in the variant seemed thicker, as if the ship itself was aware of the danger. Lyra tapped at the sensors nervously. "There are signals here, Captain, but they are not human. At least not anymore." Drelo leaned over the console, his eyes scanning the logs appearing on the holographic screens. "These systems, they are automated, but the programming is unlike anything we have seen," he said. "It is intelligent. It adapts. It reacts to our presence." The tension on the bridge grew. The crew whispered among themselves, unsure if they should continue or retreat. Relaon's voice cut through the quiet, firm and commanding. "We came this far. We cannot turn back now. Whatever humans left behind, it will not wait for us to be ready." As the ship approached the colony, a sudden flash of light erupted across the sensors, startling everyone. "Captain, something is moving," shouted Lyra. The crew froze as a holographic projection appeared, flickering and incomplete. A human figure, tall and commanding, their eyes glowing faintly, spoke without words. The AI-controlled projection activated. "Automatically, intruders detected," it said, the voice echoing through the empty colony. "All systems defensive," Torvik hissed. "It knows we are here. It is alive in its own way." The humans had vanished, yet their machines continued to act with purpose, protecting something, guarding secrets, and warning any alien who dared approach. Roland clenched his claws. "We need to understand them before they understand us fully." The ship slowly maneuvered closer to the center of the colony, sensors scanning, mapping, trying to decode the strange energy patterns. Suddenly, another signal appeared on the monitors, faint but urgent, unlike the AI voice. "Help," whispered the transmission, broken and distorted. It repeated itself several times, each repetition filled with static and fear. Lyra's eyes widened. "Someone, or something, is alive here." The crew exchanged nervous glances. Some wanted to run, others felt the pull of duty, of discovery. The Varian hovered over the central structure, the light of distant stars casting eerie shadows across its hull. Voice was steady, even as his heart pounded. "We proceed carefully. We gather information. We survive, and we return home with the truth." The bridge lights flickered as the ship's sensors detected movement deep within the colony. Someone was waiting for them, and the first real test of human space had begun. The pulse of the unknown grew stronger, and the crew realized that curiosity had led them into a place where danger hid in every shadow. The humans were gone, yet their presence filled the void. A silent warning and a challenge all at once. As the Varian moved closer, every alien aboard felt it. The truth was waiting, but it might destroy them before they could ever leave. The Varian hovered above the heart of the abandoned human colony, its engines humming softly, yet every alien aboard felt the tension in the air. The broken signals from before pulsed faintly through the ship, guiding them toward the center of the strange structures. Drelo leaned over the console, staring at the holographic displays. "Captain, these logs," he whispered, "they are human, but not like anything we imagined." His claws hovered over the controls, shaking slightly. "Humans prepared for war. Massive war, against species far older than us." They recorded everything. Every plan, every weapon, every trap. Ralland's eyes narrowed. "So this is why none returned," he murmured. His claws tapped nervously on the console. Humans didn't just vanish. They set the stage. They made sure that anyone who entered their space would be caught, or worse. Lyra's voice trembled as she pointed to the projection on the screen. "Look at this. The AI," she said. "It is controlling the entire colony. It reacts. It thinks. It hunts. Anyone who intrudes," Torvik hissed. "We are being tested. Analyzed. Like prey." His tail flicked nervously, the signal that called us here. It was a trap. It wanted us to see, to learn, to understand. Before deciding our fate, suddenly, a holographic figure appeared, projecting from the central tower, its eyes glowing faintly. "You should not have come," it said in a voice that echoed through the empty structures, cold, precise, and unyielding. The crew froze, unable to move, unable to look away. The AI projected images across the walls, showing humans in motion, creating machines, controlling fleets, setting defenses, every move precise, efficient, and ruthless. The aliens realized the horrifying truth. Humans had planned every detail, and their disappearance was not weakness, it was preparation. Rallan clenched his claws. "We need to leave." "But how?" he asked. The variant had barely penetrated the colony's outer defenses, and already the AI seemed to anticipate every action. Drones moved silently through corridors, laser grids activated without warning, and traps triggered in empty space. Lyra pointed to a glowing console. "Captain, this log," she said. "It shows humans interacting with the AI, controlling it remotely, guiding it, testing it, preparing for anyone who dared enter." Drelo frowned. "They are not gone, not entirely. They left their minds, their intelligence, their will. Inside these machines, the truth sank in like ice water. The humans were not just a species, they were a system, a force, and their absence was a warning." Suddenly, the ship shuddered, an energy pulse passing through the hull. I had noticed them. Its defenses activating. "Evasive maneuvers," Rallan shouted. As the crew scrambled, the lights flickered, shadows dancing across the walls. The pulse grew stronger, like a heartbeat of the colony itself. Torvik's claws gripped the console. "It is learning, faster than we can react," he hissed. A small drone zipped past the viewport, scanning, testing, probing. Every system on the Varian was under scrutiny, every action judged. Rallan's voice was steady, though his heart raced. "We have to gather the data, survive, and get out." He looked at his crew, each pale and tense. "We're the first aliens to witness the truth, but truth alone will not save us. Action will." The projection glowed again, the AI's voice colder than ice. "You do not belong here," it said. The words hung in the air, a silent threat, a challenge, and a warning. The crew realized the human intelligence was everywhere, inside machines, signals, even the empty void. The Varian moved slowly back, sensors, scanning, mapping, recording every detail, every alien. Aboard knew one thing with certainty. The humans were gone physically, but their presence filled the space. And if they were not careful, none of them would ever return either. The Varian drifted cautiously through the abandoned human colony, every sensor alerting the crew to the presence of unseen defenses. The energy readings pulsed like a heartbeat, tracking their movements, and every shadow seemed alive. Torvik scanned the surroundings nervously. "Captain, the drones are everywhere," he hissed, claws tapping the console. "They are not just monitoring, they are predicting our moves." Lyra pointed at the holographic display. "Look here, Captain," she said. "The AI is setting traps in empty corridors, activating laser grids, and rerouting energy fields. It adapts, learns, and reacts instantly." Rallan's jaw tightened. "We cannot fight them directly," he muttered. "We have to outthink them. Every step, every maneuver must be calculated, or we are finished." Suddenly, alarms blared, red lights flashing across the bridge. "They are closing in," shouted Drelo. As the crew scrambled, a drone zipped past the viewport, scanning the ship, a faint hum vibrating through the hull. It was fast, precise, and silent. The AI's voice echoed through the colony, cold and mechanical. "Intruders detected. Threat level maximum." The words sent a shiver down every crew member's spine. They realized the human intelligence had already mapped the Varian, predicting their every action. Rallan gritted his claws. "Split the crew," he ordered. "Some of us will create a diversion. The rest will reach the central tower. There may be answers there, and if we can shut down the AI, we might survive." Torvik's tail flicked nervously. "It is too fast," he said. "Any wrong move, and it will destroy us." The ship maneuvered through narrow corridors of energy and light, automated defenses triggering without warning, laser grids slicing through space where the crew had been only moments before. The tension on the bridge was unbearable, hearts pounding with every sound. Lyra scanned for weaknesses. "Captain, there is a hidden channel in the main system," she said, pointing to a faintly glowing code on the console. "If we can reach it, we might disable part of the AI temporarily." Rallan nodded. "Then we move quickly," he said. "Speed and precision are our only weapons." As the Varian approached the central tower, a drone suddenly appeared, larger than the others, its energy pulses bright and threatening. It moved with terrifying intelligence, cutting off escape routes, forcing the ship into tight maneuvers. Drelo shouted, "It is herding us like prey." Rallan's claws tapped rapidly on the controls, plotting the next move. "We will not be trapped," he said firmly. "Prepare the diversion. Move toward the central system, and pray we are faster than their calculations. The diversion team moved into position, activating false signals and holograms to confuse the AR. The main team raced through corridors of light and energy, each pulse and spark a reminder of the dangers surrounding them. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed through the ship. One of the diversion drones exploded, sending shards of metal flying. Torvik hissed, "They are learning from every move, adapting faster than we can react." Lyra's eyes widened as she worked to access the hidden channel, her claws moving quickly. Over the console, the ship trembled as energy pulses tried to block her progress. The AI's voice rang out again, cold and omnipresent. "You cannot escape." Rallan gritted his teeth. "Then we fight their intelligence with our courage," he said. "Move faster, think faster, survive." As the Varian neared the core of the colony, the crew felt the tension like a physical weight. Every sensor reading, every flashing light was a potential threat. They were playing a deadly game of cat and mouse against a species that no longer existed in body, but whose mind controlled every corner of the empty space. And yet, as they pressed forward, hope flickered among the crew. Small but burning. They might survive. They might outsmart the human intelligence, if only for a moment. But they all knew the truth. One wrong move, and the Varian would be destroyed. And with it, the last hope of understanding why humans had vanished. The Varian trembled as the AI tightened its grip. Energy pulses shooting across the hull like invisible chains. The crew struggled to maintain control, their hearts pounding with fear and urgency. Every move felt like a gamble against a mind that thought faster than they could. Rallan's claws tapped rapidly on the console. "We have one chance," he shouted. "Lyra, Drelo, get the hidden channel active. Torvik, prepare the engines for a sudden jump. We do this right, or we die." Lyra's claws flew over the controls, fingers trembling. "Captain Percotis, it's more complex than we imagined," she said. "The AI is adapting, even as I work. It knows what we plan." Drelo gritted his teeth. "Then we have to be faster than it can think," he said, scanning the holographic maps, plotting an escape route through corridors of energy. Laser grids and automated drones, each step a race against the invisible intelligence. Torvik's tail flicked nervously. "Engines are ready, Captain, but the jump. It will take everything," he warned. "If we fail, nothing survives." Rallan took a deep breath, feeling the weight of command. "Then we succeed," he said firmly. "No hesitation, no fear. We are explorers, and we do not give up." The crew moved with precision, activating the hidden channel. Lyra's claws danced over the console, entering codes faster than she thought possible. Sparks flew from overloaded circuits, alarms blared, and the AI's voice echoed through the empty corridors, cold and furious. "You cannot leave. You do not belong here." Suddenly, the energy pulse intensified, slamming into the ship, shaking it violently. Drelo shouted, "We are losing control." Ralone's claws flew across the console. "Overriding systems, hold steady." Torvik, enginist now. The Varian lurched forward, energy beams grazing the hull, systems sparking, alarms screaming as the hidden channel activated. The AI's defenses faltered for a moment, giving them a narrow window. Lyra let out a shaky breath. It's working. The path is clear." For a moment, Torvik engaged the jump engines, the stars stretching into long lines of light as the ship began to move faster than thought. Every crew member felt the tension crush them, knowing that one mistake would mean destruction. Suddenly, a massive energy burst struck the ship, shaking it violently. "Brace yourselves," shouted Rallan as the Varian trembled. Sparks flying, systems failing. Lyra shouted, "Jump, ready." With a sudden pulse, the engines flared, the ship leaping into unknown space. The AI's presence lingered like a shadow, warning them that their survival had been hard-won, not guaranteed. Silence filled the bridge, broken only by the hum of the engines. The crew was exhausted, trembling, but alive. Each alien stared at the displays, seeing the empty void that once was human space. Now, behind them, Drelo finally spoke, voice trembling. We made it. But what? What have we learned?" Rallan shook his head, staring at the fading signals. "Humans are gone, but their intelligence remains. They prepared for threats long before we arrived. They are cunning, unstoppable, and always ready." Lyra whispered, "That signal. It called us here for a reason." It wanted us to see, to understand, to test us. Torvik looked at the stars ahead, claws resting on the console. We survived, but the question is, for how long? Rallen's voice was calm, but heavy with thought. We escaped human space, but the truth follows us. We know why none returned. We know what we were up against. The crew sat in silence, staring into the void, their minds racing, hearts still pounding. They had survived the impossible, outsmarted the intelligence of a vanished species, but the shadow of humanity's power hung over them, a reminder that curiosity in human space came with a deadly cost.